Okay, and welcome to my next tutorial, which will be the FMC setup for the PMDG 737 or P2ED version 4. So the first thing we want to do here, we can see we've got our pop-up FMC menu. So let's go to FS Actions, and we want to set up the fuel. This tutorial assumes a working understanding of Simbrief. If you don't understand Simbrief and flight planning, I'll cover that in another forthcoming tutorial. So just give me a moment whilst I get up my Simbrief information. And it's telling me that today's trip is going to need about 20,388 pounds of fuel. Okay, and the payload, if we enter the zero fuel weight, is going to be 132.6. 2.6, and we just put that there. Okay, back to the menu, and we start with the FMC setup. This will run through the bare essentials that you need to be able to program a route. It will run through. And now, so the first thing we need to do is we need to go to the position initialization. So click there. We are in Heathrow, so that should be EGLL is the ICAO code. Again, all this information coming from Simbrief. You can put the gate in, it's not optional. Obviously in reality you probably do, but I'm going to run through the bare minimums you need to make this work. Okay, so let's see, reference airport, index, what am I doing, sorry. So reference airport, route, so we are in EGLL, and we are going to Helsinki on this tutorial, so that's EFHK. A little shortcut for you, which you can download a PMDG flight plan direct from Simbrief. I will cover this in another tutorial. I have already done that, and I have named my file for the first two letters of the departure, so HE for Heathrow, and the first two letters for the destination Helsinki, so HE again, HE, and we put that in the CO route, and that saves me having to fill out all the waypoints and airways as such. If you want to see how that's done, I will be covering that in a future tutorial when I go through how to start up the Zebo 737 in X-Plane. But for now, we've got that in, we'll activate it, execute, and we come back to performance initialization, double click where zero fuel weight is, that brings up that. Reserves, again you can get that from Simbrief, but I typically just run with what I think the PMDG tutorial information has, and it doesn't really matter what you put in here, and put 5 in there. Cost index, again you can look that up online for the airline's cost index, or if you're flying with a virtual airline like I am, you can get the cost index from there, and I know that for this Flight UK flight we operate on a cost index of around about, I think, 26 for this aircraft. And we then put in our cruising altitude for the day, which is going to be flight level 370. And we'll execute that. Transitional altitude concerns when you switch over from your entered barrow rate to their standard one. I'll cover that another time, but for now it's enough, you just leave it to that. N1 limits. For again, the outside air temperature, I've just always stuck the value of 40 in. Always works fine for me. And again, I always use this derate and climb. Different charts may tell you different things, but it's enough to get this thing to work just to do that. And we go to the takeoff page, we enter 5 on the flaps, double click for, which will give us a trim. And we then want to put in our departure, and we are departing out from, I'll have to start, actually just realised I have to start Pro ATC up for this, which is annoying because I didn't really want to do that, so we'll skip that and we'll imagine we are departing out on runway, let's see, BPK 7F is our allocated SID, so can I put that in first? I can indeed, which tells me I'm departing out from runway 27. Excellent. And we now just need to put my departure destination information in, and again I'm arriving on the Diva 2A star. Let's imagine that's coming in on ILS 4 right. Around non-applicable for runway. Great, this is working well, isn't it? And execute that, and then we'll see our legs are set up like so. We go back to, oops, sorry, why is this not init ref page, sorry, in 1 minute, takeoff is when I wanted. Now for some reason I should be getting the V speeds here, I'm not. I suspect it's in part because I'm just trying to do a shortcut here rather than run through the whole thing, which I'm going to do in my full length tutorial, but typically you should have the V speeds here now, and you would just click them there, there and there, and that pretty much covers everything that you need to know about the basics of the FMC. It really is that straightforward. For my next tutorial I'll show how it works in tandem with actually setting up the plane, and then all this will fill out properly, but this is just a very quick overview of how straightforward it is to fill out the FMC. Just one other thing I want to show you on this is that we can also go to, I think it's the descent page, forecast, and again there's information you can get from Simbrief, which I'll show you on the next tutorial about entering that altitude and wind speeds, which will give you a better profile from your descent. So yeah, I'll wrap that up now. It's a very brief, quick fly through tutorial of how quick and easy it is to actually go through the FMC. Hope you found that useful rather. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.